Go
Okay.
ahead, Juan.
Okay. First of all, um, mobile application are now updated and released in the two application stores, Android and iPhone.
Good.
Everything should be working now. If you go to the app now, you can see the organizations and the groups, and it seems to be completed. I mean, the list looks pretty cool. I don't know if you, Bruce, or Douglas, or I don't know who did the job, but it is looking good. So now we should have everything in place to start receiving agents. And yeah, Bruce, you saw with me what happened during the week about the CRM administration with no showing the proper
Yeah,
agents.
that was
And
strange. I figured it was
yeah,
a Doug or a Sherry where they clicked something they shouldn't have clicked on.
yeah. But you know what? That's like a kind of funny error and in the same time a good thing because it shows us that the system is built properly. So in case you have an IMO organization assigned, you should only see those organization agents and that organization information, and that's working fine. So that's good. The bad thing is the time that you need to invest to find those little errors that give us a little bit of hard time and take our time to do other stuff just to resolve that. But in other terms, it's good to know that the system is responding as we
Yeah,
expect
and
it
that
to.
even though we tried to crash it, it really didn't crash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes. So,
And then,
um,
Andy, did you get a chance to talk with Juan about what we were discussing yesterday? You're on mute, buddy.
You're muted.
Thank you. And I have this thing to remind me that if I'm muted or not.
Ah, that's cool.
Oh, cool.
But if you don't look at it, you don't know.
That's right. Gotta look at it. Maybe we should duct tape it to your forehead.
Yeah, I know, like here.
Yeah, just to the monitor.
And then I can just come up and I can just
Like
smack
here.
on the
Yeah,
forehead.
you go like, okay.
That'd be hilarious. I'm just gonna come up and like Andy, hold still.
What do you call that thing? I gotta have one of those tech things. What's it called?
It's called Mute Me. I'll send you the link. Mute Me.
Mute. I like that.
Carol needs to
Um,
tape it to her forearm so she remembers it.
yeah, it
Move
is
her
it is
arm,
very
she can
good,
see it
very
right
handy.
here.
And it is not actually not very expensive. $40. Wow.
Okay.
Oh wow. I paid 40 for two. Now it's
Ah,
$40. Okay.
okay.
I'll send the link. I'll send you the link through the chat here.
That'd be great.
So yes, so basically we had a little bit of a conversation, but the bulk of that is for our end of the week talk. So we should be able to discuss that later on today.
Okay.
okay. So that was for the application. Remember, Bruce, we need to work with the girls or with you about the content because right now we only have one video and that's it. So,
Yeah.
so
Well,
we need.
actually, I dumped a bunch in there. Have you looked in there?
Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah, go here. I have it on my phone. I can do a quick share with you and I'll show you. So let's go to the Cowboys and agent training, and there you go.
We don't have
Okay.
anything in my
Okay.
stuff yet.
Awesome.
And I wondered about that. Have you decided not to show anything until they buy Amy?
Say that again, Carol, you broke.
I'm sorry, there's nothing in my stuff. And I wondered if you were gonna not put it there unless they bought Amy.
No, there is nothing there. Those are some of the things that Andy and I were talking about. The big picture view, first and foremost, and this is just conversation back to Carol and everyone, is our conversations with Andy went in the direction of how many people do we have and where do we spread their efforts in relation to the priority of what needs to be done first.
Okay.
The ultimate answer to that, Andy, and I think I and even Juan agreed that really the first priority is going to be the app, that the app is completely functional in every tile. So that means if Andy's got 5 guys, all developers, we push at least 3 of them or maybe even 4 of them. And that's up to Andy because he understands, I mean, too many developers in one room could be a real problem, right? So that's you guys to decide how that flies. So whatever it is, three of them working on it until every tile is fully functional. Now, some of that, of course, on the app is also connected directly to for things like the Moolah, where that's connected to the CRM. So we definitely need CRM work. But with the events that have happened since yesterday and the events that have happened since in today, we could be looking at 100 or 200 appointments a day in a very short time window, maybe even as soon as April, right? So another thing that's happening today, talking with Brian and working on call centers, we think that we're going to need to hire 5 people right away. And, ouch. You can ultimately figure that 5 people hired via call center is going to be at least 4,000 per person. Realistically, it might be more like 5,000 per person. Well, that's 20,000 a month in call center costs. So these are all the conversations going on the phone besides Andy and Juan and everybody else that I'm working on. But that means that we would need to bring on 1 or 2 more peeps that Andy would use, and he already has them. They're freelancers, and then Juan and Andy would work with these guys, and we would say, we've got to have this app fully functional. And then guess what? Not only does every tile work and everything is completed through marketing tools, webinars, podcast stuff, etc., but we also then need to take the whole dang thing and make it into Spanish.
Yeah.
And we need that by March 1st. No problem, right, Juan?
No problem at all.
Yeah, March 1st is
I thought it was
When?
for,
Easy
for
breezy.
February
That's
20.
you got 2 weeks. Come on, that's easy. So, I mean, again, those are the pressures that we're all seeing. So I don't want Andy and you guys to feel a level of pressure is like, there's just no way we can do this. We'd be working 18-hour days. Well, I don't have a problem with that, but I bet you would.
yeah.
Who's working that little, Andy? Because I'm working
I don't know
24.
who's only working. I don't know who is only working 18 hours. So that's
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing is that we have to address all of that. I mean, we're human beings and we know that when you're working long, long days, eventually you burn yourself out. You're not as productive. You don't get as much done because you're staring off into space because you're sick of staring into the computer. So I get all of those things. I do that after about 7:30 or 8 at night. I just start kind of zoning and I have to really force to stay to 9. Nowadays, I've been quitting for sure by 9 because
Yeah.
I just don't want to do it anymore.
And
Need
and
rest.
also, Bruce, it's good that you're mentioning that because what's happening right now is that we've been introducing some little changes. For example, the groups, the organizations, the landing pages, and all that's happening in the background. And that's something that definitely is giving us a hard time because we're kind of touching everywhere, little changes, little
Yeah.
things, but everything seems to be in a constant movement. So that's where errors happen, and when it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, it is.
with
And
the flow.
that's why I'm trying super hard. I mean, it's my natural instinct to go, what's taking so long? But I mean, that's my natural instinct. I mean, that's just an emotion, right? It's an emotional response to my own pressures that people are pressuring me to, when's this going to be ready type scenario. But I do understand you can only do so much coding, and it's not just the coding, it's making it all talk to each other. It's making it all show up on a tablet, on a phone, on a desktop. It's, creating it in Spanish. It's changing graphics. I realize how much work it is. So I usually keep my mouth shut. And if I want to bitch and moan, I'll bitch and moan to Andy because he knows that he can take a little bit of it with a grain of salt. It's mostly just comes sometimes because I'm pressured to, how much longer will it be? And ultimately I've got to the comfortable solution of saying, they're working as fast as they can. I have an entire team that has lovingly dedicated themselves to all of our projects, and they've been doing all of our projects and not doing other ones. So, I'm not going to press them any farther. And then usually that shuts whoever's up that's talking to us. They be quiet and they don't talk anymore. So you guys are doing a great job. Don't ever forget that. Josue, all of you, Izzy, I know you guys are all working a ton. And as much as I'd like to go, will you guys work on Saturday? But at the same time, I'm like, no, 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 they need that time off because then when they come back on Monday, they're going to be focused and they're going to be ready to go. Nobody can do well with one day off. I can attest to that. I'm only doing all of my stuff 7 days a week because I really don't have any choice. I'm the one that's building the company. I have to be on 7 days a week. Now I do take time off during the weekend. I'll take a 4 or 5 hour spin and I'll go do something with the family or this, that, or the other. But at this point, my whole family knows and understands that it is what it is. It's to get to reach a bigger goal, and we'll do what we have to do. So you guys are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, we're going to have challenges and we're going to always have to be making changes or adjusting or adding to. There's a lot more stuff coming down the pike. Like we're going to need more landing pages for businesses, for employees, employers. We need to tweak the one that we sent you that you guys have already sent back to us, the rough draft one. I'll be working with Elisa on that today.
Yes.
You're doing awesome. Thank you for all the work. And now I think it's just Andy getting back to me on if we can bring in some freelancers to maybe help speed things along, that's the path to follow.
Yeah, no. So we actually have that. So yes, yeah. But this afternoon, after this meeting, I'll sit down with Juan and we go over some of those things. But yeah.
Have you considered using Fiverr for the Spanish translation?
I'm not worried about the words themselves. It's that the putting it in the right place at the right time, in the right order, in the right thing. So for that, I'd rather use the guy that we use right now for the web.
Keeping it
because he knows everything that is there. So it's not just a plain website. As you know, we have little things that follow you and some URLs that do specific things.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid to bring anybody else that is not familiar with the way everything is set up.
Yep.
That could break one of those things, and then it will make it so much more difficult.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't want to go outside of it, Carol, because you have to spend so much time trying to get somebody up to speed. That's why it's so challenging to try to overcome those things. Because, where do you take the time to bring someone up to speed, and where do you just stay inside the house and get it done by bringing someone into the house instead of going outside the house to find them?
Well, I just wanted to say that when we wanted to take our debt contract, and put it into Spanish, I found an attorney on Fiverr that did it for $80 and it was several pages long.
Right. And as I say, the Spanish itself is not the problem. So it's not the wording in Spanish that we can handle. It's the putting it in the right places that takes a little bit of time.
Yeah, I wouldn't
know what I mean?
Fiverr guy to do that. I get it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, what else we got, boys?
Okay, the other thing we're doing right now, Bruce, and we need definitely to define a schedule for you and me to sit down next week and work for a couple of days, if possible.
Okay.
Is just to take a look at the entire agent process. Because right now we have some of the guys that are getting sign up using the landing page, the mobile application, or maybe we are creating them manually or something like that. So we definitely need to go and take a look because we are really close to finishing the DPP synchronization process. Right now, we are getting all the contacts, 441 contacts that we have so far. And we already import all the contacts. We are now doing a program which is going one by one and getting all the details.
How did that go?
It went really good, very well. I mean, it's working really fine. And we need to take a little care because the API has some limits. For example, you cannot exceed 20 requests per minute. So we need to do it slowly, but it's working just fine. we're getting all the information, we're getting all the details. Now we are running one by one, getting all the accounts, all the history, all the notes, and everything we need from there. And I'm going to definitely use Douglas, maybe Sherry, I don't know, next week just to double check that information. But definitely we're going to take a look into the entire process so we now are sure that everything we need on DPP is going to be covered by the CRM. And right now I'm seeing that, for example, we're missing the form where they complete the profile, which is that very long form they receive once they sign up, and they receive first the welcome email, and then they receive a second email with that request for completing the profile.
Okay.
I think we need to make that happen in our CRM, or what do you think? That's why I need to
Okay.
sit down with you and take a look, what are we going to do? Because as you were saying at the beginning, we are doing a lot of things just to make this happen,
Yeah.
but we need to make all the efforts count to the same direction.
I think one of the things Andy and I talked about this last week I think it's been this last week, right? Andy was building a calendar to share between the two of us, a Google calendar.
Yes. So we know what's going on.
I think that's really a sound idea. I forget how to do it at the moment. I can figure it out pretty quickly. Do I need to initiate it, or should you? I mean, it's coming from our system, right? So I probably need to be the one to initiate a new calendar that I would then share with you.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah,
Okay,
but
I'll look into that. Carol, will you send me a text, not right now, but later today, to remind me to work? Actually, you know what? Send it to me tomorrow morning.
Okay.
I have to go do a birthday thing with my son tomorrow morning, so I probably won't start working until like noonish because he was really upset that I wouldn't let him take me out on my birthday this week. And I'm like, honey, I'm too busy. Let's do it on the weekend. He goes, but today's the day. And I'm like, no, sorry, we're doing it. So Saturday I do it tomorrow, or I'll probably be disowned. So I'll get that done tomorrow. Carol, if you just send me a reminder Saturday morning.
Right.
Okay, so then the next thing that would be up on the agenda, anything else on your side, Juan? I'm looking
yes,
at my
and
calendar.
yes, we have to find that calendar so we can work on
So
it, because we're also
17th.
working on the Mula and Tango card that you
Okay.
saw.
Did
I
you get
was
into
bothering you.
Tango?
Yes, I got in. Maybe I need to bother you again in a couple of days, because that two-factor authentication is the most annoying thing I
Yeah, it
ever
is.
known.
Irritating. Right.
But yeah,
If you
we
just
continue
send me a
working on that
text
one.
heads up that I know you're going to do it, then I'll know to just sit there and watch it so I can give it to you, within.
Yes, for sure, I will. Is it Telegram a good channel to speak with you, or
Yeah, I'm on
okay,
Telegram. I am on.
awesome. Yeah, I can use it with you without
Okay.
any issue. I will let you know.
I'm available Monday afternoon if you want to shoot for something Monday afternoon to start that.
I will let you know, because I received a call recently about a meeting precisely Monday afternoon, but I will let you know as soon as
Okay.
I define that. Okay.
And let's see. Let me look at the 18th, Tuesday. I could do Tuesday morning, which would be later, 3 hours later for you guys. So if you want to do Tuesday morning, as long as we schedule it today.
That should work. That should work for me better.
Morning. Okay. So let's do Tuesday morning. Let's see if it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock my time. Oh, I have a
8
call.
o'clock your time. Andy, can you give me a hand? 8 o'clock. Bruce time will be my 12.
It will be 8 o'clock. Will be 5.
8 o'clock
He's 3
would
hours.
be
He's 3 hours behind us. I'm sorry.
ahead.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock.
Is 11 o'clock.
Yeah, so it will be 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Okay, so let's
can we make it 9, Bruce?
Yeah, that'd be perfect, because I have an 8:30, an 8:15. I have what time? Hold on, let's see. What time is this appointment? 8:15 to 8:30. So yeah, 9 o'clock would be perfect.
Awesome.
So I'm going to send you an invite.
Please. Okay, because that's the other thing I need to talk with you. I'm exploring Tango. I think I have enough to start working, but I will need you to tell me exactly what you're expecting to happen with that, and start making some moolah.
Carol, can you find somewhere in our documents where we have that list of all of our point system that we created a long while back?
I will try.
Okay.
It's
I
been a
mean,
while ago.
I have it somewhere too, but you
I may have
probably,
it in the folder, which is where I'm gonna go first. So yeah, I get it.
Carol, if you find it sooner than
Uh-huh.
the meeting, just
Yeah,
send me something. I
I
will
will.
just take a look into it.
Sure.
Some light reading for the
Sure.
weekend.
Mhm.
Okay.
it's pretty straightforward. I think you'll find it's a very simple process.
Awesome, awesome. That's what I need, but definitely I'm looking forward for our meeting so we can discuss a lot of
Yeah.
details that I have in
Yeah,
mind. Okay.
how we tie it all together will be the
Yeah.
key. And we're going to have to automate more and more because as we get, we literally will be reaching 10,000 agents. We'll be reaching, several hundred inbound calls, appointments a day. We'll have call center people. We'll have liaisons to track the agents. We'll have a whole bunch of stuff going on
Yeah.
to make this work. And the more automation we can have in all areas, the better we're going to be
Mhm.
for
Absolutely.
efficiency, at least.
Yeah. And last but not less important, CRM. Now we finished all the adjustments on the calculation part that Sherry sent us with the secure dev uh, addition that we did last time. And this is something that completely reflects what's happening to us in this process. Remember, we used to have only secure dev and then dev resolution,
Mhm.
and the system was having all the accounts, and we were totalizing all the accounts and then presenting the plan for the agent or for the customer to get the debt resolution analysis, right?
Mhm.
We received the request to include secure debt, and we just added the accounts and the additional fields, and we thought, hey, this is just another account, right? So when we finished that, we presented that to Sherry, and a couple of days after she reviewed everything, she told us, hey, secure debt shouldn't be totalized in the same analysis that we are doing. So we needed to go back and get all the condition to make those accounts marked as secure debt not to be included in the analysis. So that kind of stuff is what's happening to us because for us
Right.
it's
It
something
slows you down.
like
Yeah, you don't know
maybe
the business. Yeah.
yeah, and for us it was doing as another single account with that different check, but for Sherry,
There a
which should be very easy or basic, but not to us, it's an account not to have in mind or not to have in the account for the total analysis. So we finished that part today. We're going to update the server, and I'm going to ask Sherry to send me some example so I can double check.
Okay. And
And
is there
that's
a way, Juan, that we can is there or Andy, is there a way we could teach the team to understand the logistical steps behind creating a software system? In other words, we let's give them an IT education to a
When
level
you say the team,
Which part
your
of
all
team,
of
our
weightless.
if
oh
if
yeah,
All of
sure.
weight.
if you allow me, Bruce, this is something that it relies most on me as the product manager, as the director of the team, because I
Sure.
should know how. Andy, please keep
Yes.
that finger down. Because this is something that this is something that is going to happen, and we need to have in mind that as much as the team knows what they are doing will be the best, right?
Yeah.
But we should be able to write down all the requirements as simple as possible. So we were able to deliver that to any developer and
Mhm.
he completely understands what he's doing.
Yeah, that'd be
And
great.
we don't have to not lose, but not have that much time on.
Yeah, we're losing time and
Yeah.
efficiency by
Mhm.
half, and you guys have to go back and recode.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So
I get
yes,
that. That's
that's a
why I went to that
challenge.
IT school, so I could kind of understand how that went, but I didn't
Mhm.
realize Sherry, I did have a talk with her this last week about it, a come to Jesus talk. And I said, Sherry, I said, you cannot make pull these little details after something. I said, when they're asking you to see if it works, you need to just work on the part that they're asking you to see if it works. Don't bring up 6 other things that you might want to change. I said, you've got to only just work on the one thing they're asking you. Does this work? Because if you go back and you say, well, that's not exactly what I wanted, they've got to recode and rebuild, and then it's like pulling a piece out of the puzzle. Well, now it's incomplete. And then they have to reconfigure that whole thing to try to make that piece fit back in there without causing problems. So I hope that that helped her a little bit, but I think it would be beneficial if we did a class, and we could do it on a Friday. We could do a Friday class where we just have you guys kind of walk through, here's the things that we need you guys to do in step-by-step processes, so we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel.
Yeah, that could work.
Okay.
And yeah, that conversation with Sherry, I think took some effect, because she were just giving us the exact points what we need to adjust, and this week we delivered a couple of them.
Okay.
So I think we're having a good dynamic here, or receiving the feedback, fixing and releasing, and
Okay.
then testing. And that's the last part for this week with the depth analysis and the secure depth thing. And I hope to have it ready for Monday as planned.
Okay, cool. All right, awesome. I mean, we're making progress. It's I can't say it's slow going, because we had to start from absolutely air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had to
Yeah.
start from air. It was just a concept in our heads. It's like, we needed to do this, and we built it that. When did we start this? Was it April last year?
Yes, something like
Was
that.
it
Yes,
April?
yes.
Yeah, so it's
And
been almost a
You're
year.
not even 10 months in yet.
Yeah.
And also as a note, Bruce, that space that you're talking about, the little class or something like that, should be both ways. I mean, you can teach
Yeah.
us your
Yeah.
business, and we can teach you how we visualize and how we do the things inside the system.
Yeah.
So you can have the exact idea of what we are building, and we can have, as I was saying, both ways, so we can teach each other how we are
Okay.
working.
I've been having that in the back of my mind. I think, Carol, do you have a tablet, right?
Absolutely.
Does your tablet have the Vibe board on it? Can I send you an invite and you can use the tablet to Vibe board stuff?
You'd have to show me how to access it, because I don't have any of the platforms like Excel or anything like
I
that.
think you just have to download a Vibe app on your Apple.
Yeah, I can do that.
And then you could use it, and what I was thinking of doing, and I've been thinking about this for a long time, is creating a Vibe board, which is basically a diagram of how Weightless works. And just draw it out and map it out so that everybody can see these are the processes and the steps that we go through.
Okay.
So anyway, we'll look into that, and then you could play around with it, and then I can tweak. I mean, we don't even need to make it fancy. We just need to pen draw it, and then once we pen draw it and we know what we want it to look like, then we can make it pretty.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Mhm.
Anything else on your side, Juan? You got to go?
No, my friend, that's it.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Bye, Juan.
Thank you.
All
Bye, Juan.
right.
We'll see you guys later. We'll see you later.
Okay.
So
Bye.
now Izzy and Josue, Cammy's off today.
Yes, I think she's off today.
Okay.
Today.
I wish I was Cammy.
Me too.
So hey, listen, here's what Andy and I talked about yesterday, and what our kind of our primary focus that we wanted to hit on today was Amy.
Can I say something before we get into that one?
Sure.
Guys, one of the things, if you remember, that I discussed this morning is, please take your microphone off of mute. And if there's a lot of noise, we'll let you know. Listen, if there's a lot of noise, mute your microphone or something, so it's easier to have the conversation back and forth.
Yeah,
That
that
we
way
discussed this morning.
we won't be on the. If it's noisy, we'll let you know, guys. Let you guys know.
Yeah.
I think it's quiet enough now. We can do it. So
Mhm.
the topic of the day today was Amy, and how we take the products that we're going to use for the agents and how we interact them into the agents. So I'm going to whiteboard for a minute, okay, guys?
Yeah, I'd love that. I've been thinking about this as well, trying to create, but I do it in Excel.
So I should be on my tablet and then I could just use my tablet pen, but I'm going to use my mouse. So, forgive me for my sloppiness. So the first thing that happens is, let's just go to pen. The first thing that happens is we have our agent, and we're just going to call him AG. Okay, now the purpose of the agent and the purpose of Amy is to provide them some marketing material. So we know we're gonna provide them an email, so that's the E. We're gonna provide them some SM, some social media pieces. We're gonna provide them a vid. We're gonna provide them a news piece. I'll just say news.
Either a magazine or an article.
Yeah,
right?
that falls all under that.
Okay.
And those are the four pieces that we would provide to them for the $250 a month. Now, all three of these are co-branded with Weightless. Now, keep in mind that the reason that we're co-branding them is because each of these agents, ladies and germs, they are trying to sell financial products and whoops, I don't know what that is, but okay. Each of them are trying to sell co-branded products, or excuse me, they're trying to sell insurance products.
Right.
And the problem with that is, I don't know where my pen went.
It's right below the blue box.
What blue box?
On your left there where you have the arrow.
That's oh, there it is. Okay, there it is. Sorry, I lost it for some reason. So, so the co-brand is really the reason that we do that is because when an agent comes up to Andy and they're at a picnic, right? And Andy says, "Hey, glad to meet you. Super glad to meet you, Carol. Hey, what do you do, Carol?" And Carol says, "Well, I'm an insurance agent." Andy's going to turn around and run.
Yeah.
Because Andy does not want to have Carol sell him an insurance policy. Now, maybe Andy actually needs it, and Andy has no clue how valuable an insurance policy is to making him wealthy in a tax-free environment. But nobody in Andy's mind is not an interesting conversation to have in a park, right?
Yep.
Or at a party or wherever they are. So when an agent comes up and tries to tell somebody, "Oh yeah, I'm an insurance agent," they're going to go, okay, well, I'm going to go get a drink now," and they're going to walk away.
Yeah.
I know this from firsthand experience because I did it for years. So the idea behind the co-branding is nobody wants to talk about insurance, especially if they're not educated in it and they don't understand how powerful it is. But a lot of people want to talk about finances. And a ton of people, if you just ask the right questions, want to talk about debt because debt is affecting everyone. Some new stats came out recently that Sherry was sharing with me this morning, and Carol was there on that, where the mortgage delinquencies are up, credit card delinquencies are up, and what was the other thing, Carol?
Car loans.
Car delinquencies are up. So people are missing payments. They're missing their house payments. They're missing their car payments. People are in trouble. They're struggling. So by co-branding, any of these agents have the ability to use Weightless as the bad guy slash good guy because they can start a conversation and like, can you believe how freaking expensive groceries are? Have you been affected? Have your finances been affected since COVID? That's a very simple question to ask Andy, and Andy's not going to run away. Andy's going to stand there and talk to Carol.
You might.
Because it's being affected.
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
affecting Andy. It's something that Andy is very well aware of, that his bread at the local Florida store is $6 a loaf. It used to be 2, then it was 4, now it's 6 for a freaking loaf of bread, right? So when Carol brings that up to Andy, and then Andy says, "Oh, what do you do?" And she says, "Well, actually, I'm a cash flow specialist."
That's what I say every time.
This is the number 2 and most important thing of everybody on the planet. If I tell if I can increase your monthly cash flow by $500 a month, Would you want to stand there and talk to me?
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely, right? So would you, Josue, right? I mean, it's an absolute.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is that's what we're doing with these agents. We're co-branding because then the agent can go, well, I work with a company called Weightless Financial, and their goal is to help you feel unburdened by all your debts and help you get cash flow back into your bank account. By doing that, it doesn't change the fact that they still have insurance to sell, but it redirects the client to put their guard down and be more open to the conversation. And eventually, over a little bit of time, the client can sell them 45 insurance policies because they'll have that trusting relationship.
Yes.
So the whole goal behind Amy is to co-brand with them and give that agent some other way to contact and build relationships with total strangers and grow their business. If they try to build relationships with a total stranger and they go, I'm an insurance salesman, I'm an insurance saleswoman, I'm this, I'm that, I'm a financial planner, I'm a financial strategist, they're all going to roll their eyes and go, oh, great, you have some kind of networking program. Are they pyramid scheming you? You know, all of those things will pop into that potential client's head and they lose 3/4 of their clients right then and there.
Yeah.
Now, we know this for a fact, ladies and germs. We absolutely know this. Out of every 10 clients that an insurance person will talk to, a real estate person, any of these people out of every 10, if they're really, really good at what they do, they'll do business with 3. If they're really good.
Imagine.
Right? Most of them would be lucky if they do business with 1 because they're not that good. But if they're really good, they'll do business with 3. That means there's 7 people that they said, I can't help you. Have a nice day. And the next question is, well, wait a minute. How come I can't help them? Because they have no discretionary income. They have no cash flow. So weightless is the perfect piece in a pyramid. I mean, I think of it this way is, you know, here's the agent and here's the client. And weightless fills in the gap. That's how this works. And so we just slide up in the middle between the two and we now bridge the gap. And we now give that client an opportunity to way more effectively help that client see the benefit to getting out of debt and see the benefit to why insurance is a benefit, and so on and so on. So that's your foundation. That's everything is about that one thing. Now, when it comes to us getting the agents to recognize that, we have to teach the agents that too. Well, we'll teach them. We'll do what we need to do. You guys will help us with some of the marketing pieces, but we'll teach them that. And we are teaching them that on the Amy page. I mean, the Amy page is very well done. It really covers those bases, right? It's a very well done landing page.
Yep.
So once that agent is ready to go and that agent signs up, the next question that comes from this is this scenario of, well, wait a minute, guys, now that we have these, how do we get them to the agents, especially in mass production? How do we get all of these in mass production, especially when every single agent is going to work for possibly, as time goes on, we're just going to use this number, 100 different companies. So that means you're going to have to create 100 different co-brand logos. Maybe if it's 100 agents or 10,000. So we're going to say 100 different co-brands. That means 100 different logos or 100 different addresses or 100 different something that you have to have in your system to drop them in and create these 4 different areas. But the next thing that's really scary, which is what we need to be ready for, is let's say that we have 1,000 agents that are using Amy. Okay. And that is in this scenario with 4 of these, that's 4,000 co-brand pieces,
Per month.
4 different pieces a month. And then that's every month, January, February, March, April. So what's 4,000 times 12? 48,000 pieces you're going to have to create co-branded for every month.
Yeah.
Now we talked about this, right? And it's really not 4,000 because we're going to give him 8 emails a month. So now we're at 8,000. We're going to give him 8 we're going to give them 8 social media pieces a month. We're going to give them 1 video a month, and we're going to give them 1 news piece a month. So now look at that again. This is now 16,000. So you kind of get that, where what you see here is how do we do this? Okay, so does everybody with me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's dump this for a minute. I don't have a very wide eraser thingy here, so I got to wiggle my mouse a lot. You'd
So
be
you can do
laughing.
it.
I'm over here scribbling on my mouse pad. Okay, so remember that we could potentially, that's just with 1,000. What if this thing really took off and we have 4,000 agents? Just, you know,
Yeah.
you can do the math on this. It can be very big, very quick, and it could be very dangerous because we certainly can't do it manually. Now, the next problem is our CRM. Or how are we going to get that data to them? So how do we get the data to them? So we have those 4 pieces. I'm just going to call them piece 1, 2, 3, 4, because we all know what we're talking about now, the emails, the social medias, and so on. So now pieces 1, 2, 3, and 4, we have to have a place that we can park these. So the goal is probably we park them in the CRM. And the first step of the CRM is we would have when that AMI agent is registered and we trigger it in the CRM that they are AMI registered, they're paying for AMI. Then when they register and they sign into the CRM, on the left-hand side of the CRM, you know that box over here, a button would show up for those that are paying to AMI, and it would say AMI, right? And only the ones that are paying for AMI will see that button. Now, when they click on that button and they open the button, so this is the button, what happens next? Where do they find those folders? Where do they find these 4 pieces? So let's say that there's going to be 4 folders. And I'm just calling it a folder. You guys can figure out how it works. But for today, we're just planning. So we're going to put number 1 in this folder. So that's where all the emails are. Number 2, number 3, and number 4. So each one of these folders houses the 8 emails, the 8 social media pieces, the 1 video, and the 1 newsletter. And this is just, by the way, for January or whatever month we happen to be in. Okay, so January, and then of course we would have to have another February, and so on and so on. And each one of these has these 4 segments for these 4 products, because our products are the emails and the co-branding pieces that you guys develop. So not only are we developing all the pieces and giving to them X amount a month, we got to come up with these every month. But now over here on the side, we'll use that number again to keep them from us from feeling overwhelmed. We're going to just say 100 agents, and we've got to create 800 potential emails, you know. So and that is like, let's say all 100 of those agents, 25 of them are with company X, and 25 of them are coming with company Y. 25 of them are coming with company XYZ. And then, of course, the 25 of them are coming with company whatever, A. Right? So everybody with me?
Yep.
Okay, so now what we've done is we have 25 agents for company X. So that means that we have to take 8 foundational emails. We only have to create 8, but then we gotta create 25 company X, 25 company Z, 25 company A, and 25 company Y. Because each one of those is a different company that has their own logos and their own names, etc. So you're taking only 8, but you're going to have to make 25 for company X, but that might be 25 for company X, and it's 25 names. So even though it's company X, it's John Doe, Mary Doe, Susie Doe, Carol Doe. Hey, that kind of rhymes. 25 times. So you're going to have to drop the logos, and you're going to have to drop the names in. So you can see that this position is going to be time consuming, but we have to figure out how to do this because it's the last step before we can automate and go and start engaging agents and selling them this piece.
Yeah, I think that piece is going to be more of an issue for the technical side than for the creators of the content.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have to be.
There's a couple of other things we need to consider as well.
Mhm.
One of them is if we have given 3 months worth to Kenneth Williams as an example, and now he has 4 times 3 or 8 times 3, whatever it is for those 3 months, does he always have access to everything that he's purchased so far?
Yeah,
So if
absolutely.
he liked something in January and he wants to bring it over and use it in March, can he do that? That's part of what needs to be thought through when we're going through this. And many of the agents are, number one, not going to have a logo. They don't have a company set up. So those have to be created. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So how do we let you know that that needs to be done?
Yeah,
Part
I
of my
think
job.
for each agent we have to have some set of kind of configuration.
A form or something, either an online form
something.
or
Well, I
something.
think the other part of it is remember we have our box on the left, right? And it's an Amy button. And with that Amy button, the one thing that we have to address before is we ask the question of, well, who's signing in? So if Carol belongs to Waitlist Financial and Carol's signing in, this Amy button already knows that it's a Waitlist Financial rep.
So
So
it's checking to make
anything
sure.
that shows to Carol in any of those 4 folders, right? Anything that shows the Carol, they're already all waitlist documented pieces. The only thing that's left is for the personal agent information to be in there. So guys, Izzy, Josue, and Andy, the thing is the simplistic way is we create those pieces. We create the 8. Sorry for the writing, the 8, the 1, and the 1, right? But we created those for the month of January or the month of February because we're already into February. We created all of these pieces, and the first thing that happens on your side is they're all logoed for Waitlist. And then we just rinse and repeat. So the next group, it's the same email content. We're not changing the content of the email. It's all the same. But then they do that, and then they take those exact same blank ones, and now they drop in, let's say, Sterling, right? So now it's the Sterling logo, and then it's the Milliard logo, and so on and so on. So each entity has the logos, and they just log into that, and that's what they see for that. Because when he logged in as a Waitlist agent, a Sterling agent, a Milliard agent. So that's what he sees is the Milliard logos. He doesn't get a whole splue of it. He only sees what is applicable to the company category that we put him in when we signed him up. That'll make it a lot faster and more quick. So then the next thing that I think would be beneficial is let's go to this next step. Let's say that we are this is being recorded, I think, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
You guys have this, so I can erase this and do this. Now watch. This is where it simplifies a little bit more. So this is a pre-formatted waitlist email, right? The girls in Josue have created this, and it's one of their killer emails, and it's beautiful, and it has the message. I don't know how to spell email at the moment, clearly. And so it has the message. Here's all the stuff, and then here's Jack down here, and then here's the cool stuff up above, and so on and so on. It's all ready. And we already dropped the logo in here. So the logo goes here. So I'll just say logo. And this is, again, using the example that I was just talking about. This is a waitlist logo because there's 8 of these for the month. So when they go in on the 1st of February, there's all 8 emails ready to go for the whole month. They're already there. And then the only thing that's left is they just have to put their name in. So maybe if we make it so the agent can put the name in themselves, we don't have to do it.
And their phone number and their email address.
Yeah. Their name, phone number, and email goes here. Okay. So they can do that. When they log in, the logo is already there. They just put in their own information, their own email, their phone, and their name. And that's it. Now it's ready to go. So that would be, to me, the quickest way. The agent logs in based on who they are, and those are already pre-logoed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's that. If they don't have a logo or they don't want to use a logo, no big deal. They just put their name and info in and they're good to go. It saves us trouble on that and it makes it simple for us in that scenario. Now, the next part of this, whoops, wrong button. The next part of this is the question of placement. So now we're going to go back again to we have our email, and we know that none of these agents have a clue on how to do email campaigns, drip campaigns. So that means that once they've put their name and and it's been logoized and it's ready to go, remember they have 8 of these, so they can select. We don't care which ones they want to send out. We don't care. I mean, they have, they're going to send out 2 a week for a month. They may pick 2 out of the 8, and then the next week they may pick another 2, or they may use the ones they had because they like the first 2 so well. We don't care. It makes no difference to us.
Yes.
But what we have to figure out is the next step is how do we tell, I'm using Josue and Izzy, how does the agent tell Josue, I want to use these 2 emails this week. Can you set it up into GHL? So Josue says, yeah, no problem. I'll use those. So we would have to code the emails somehow. We would have to say email 682 and email 683. And Carol is my agent. So Carol says, Josue, Carol says, hey, Josue, I want to use 682 and 683 this week. So Josue goes there to that file and he pulls 683 and 683 and 682 out from the file folder, and then he sets them up into GHL, and then they mail out based on who the agent to the agent's mailing list, right? This would be the mail list. Now, here's the challenge in this again, this is not set in stone by any means, guys. I'm just trying to give us something to start by.
Mm-hmm.
So the email is all ready to go. There's 8 of them in the folder or wherever they are. The agent picks which 2 they want to do. They notify, I'm going to say Josue here. Okay. They notify Josue in whatever form that is. Josue, he's on top of his game, and so he sees the email or whatever the connection point is. And he pulls 682 and 683 for the waitlist financial agent named Carol. He pulls them out of the waitlist financial folder. He moves them to GHL. He sets up the flow chart and he mails them so that they will automatically go out on behalf of the client, because this is, or excuse me, on behalf of the agent, because this is all one agent. And he does it on behalf of the agent for that week. And then it goes out and it hits the mail list of the agent, whoever the agent wants them to mail to. And that would be the process. Now it's going to be a rinse and repeat. The next question for this same scenario is, well, how are we going to do it with social media? How are we going to do it with our one-page text message or our magazine or whatever it's going to be?
Right.
And how are we going to do it with what else did I have? Oh, our video. Our video. So this process has to be a rinse and repeat for all 4 of these things. And we have to have it in the computer system, probably through the CRM, because the agent can access that to pick the ones they want to use for that week. That gives them, here's the reason behind why we want to do this, at least somewhat to the way I've explained it. We want the agent that they're paying us the money. We want them to feel that they have some kind of control over what they want to send out.
Right.
So by opening up that folder and reading all 8 emails, they can go, oh, I really like this email 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to send out 1 and 2. And then this week, I'm going to send out 3 and 4. The next week, 5 and 6. If they like those or they want to mix them up or say, oh, this would fit for my client today because I know they've been talking to me about this, they pick them for that month, just for that month. And then the next month, we start the process all over again. And it's rinse and repeat every month. So this is what you guys were missing this before we can launch Amy. we have to have this in place because we have to have a way to get all this stuff out to the clients. Okay, I'm done. Now you guys pitch in. You throw me your 2 cents or 10 cents
Or $100.
or $100. Questions?
I think on my side, I'm not too worried about the social media. Technically speaking, it's not complicated to do that. So the customization of each of the items and add the logo, add the things, it's completely doable. Some harder than others. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little bit of hiccups. The video, it's the part that I think it's going to be more difficult, but in general, I think it's okay.
Video takes a little longer to drop it into that.
Well, what happened is automating the video process where you replace the last, I don't know, 15, 20 is what do you call it, like boxes, no.
Yeah, I gotcha.
The pictures at the end of the real video to make it like a logo, it's gonna be more difficult. Now you can't have like in the video like the logo at the bottom. That's gonna be super difficult to do because it's gonna be switching. So the video has to be re-edited every time.
Yeah.
So what you do that the way you do it is you can replace at the beginning and at the end, and then just insert the video in the middle,
Right,
for
yeah,
example,
splice
kind of
it.
like sandwich in
Yeah.
the logos.
Yeah.
So that's okay. Put the pictures at the end and the logos, that's fine. And publishing, it's fine. So the complication is like, okay, so me, Andy, I'm going to send email 3 plus the email for 3 from February plus the video from June number 2
Yeah.
plus that
Yeah,
combination
that's
of things, that is going to be super difficult. So what I think it's the easiest to start with. It doesn't mean that that's the end, but to start with, probably the easiest will be, okay, everybody, you send everything for the month of, like, I'm gonna apply March, and March gets applied and submit and publish and everything according to the preset schedule that we can have for that.
Okay.
To start with, I mean, eventually we can go like, okay, now let me mix and match and whatever I want. I want this top with this bottom with that, those pants, whatever.
Yeah.
There's
So-
another potential complication that I see,
Mm-hmm.
and that has to do with, let's say that Sterling, as an example, who has 25 agents, and 5 of them sign up for Amy. All 5 of those are going to have the exact same materials, just with their information on it. So they come to us and say, look, we can't be all doing the same videos, or we can't all be doing the same, whatever marketing they're doing on their own, but they don't want to be competing directly with one of their other agents. So is there a thought process for that?
No, that won't matter, Carol, because the agents are going to be sending them to their own personal individual clients. So all 5 of those Sterling agents have their own clients. So even though those emails are the same, the videos are the same, they're going to multiple different individuals. So the individuals won't know that all 5 are using the same tool.
Well, that works as long as that works, until somebody says, hey, wait a minute, I'm just advertising. I'm using this social media piece to advertise on Meta, and I'm paying for this, and it's exactly like Joe Blow's.
But once again, it's reaching a whole series of different people.
Okay.
So there's a possibility that we would cross paths, but there's no way we can correct that. I mean, we can't create individual marketing pieces for every single agent.
Well, I'm going to say that it can be done. I'll tell you why. The first month, absolutely it can't. But when you're in month 6, now you've got 6 months worth of it that you can choose from. So it's going to be different. So only the first month is where that's going to come up. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but then it's still going to be a rinse and repeat based on the numbers. You're going to still cross-reference the same stuff.
Yeah.
At some point in time, they're going to get the same stuff in repetition. I mean, I don't think there's a way around. It would be just too complex.
Understood. That's why I'm asking the question, though, because I'm going to have to be fielding the answers.
Yeah.
Those questions.
You're right. I think it's good that you're coming up with this stuff, but I think the bottom line is is really just focusing on if we had 5 Sterling agents and they all have the same 5 things to pick from, the first step would be if we give them that choice. Out of the 5, 3 of them are going to pick 2, the other 2 are going to pick the other 2, you know, and so there will be variation in there to an extent. Not with the video, because we're only giving them 1 video a month and they're all going to be running that video. Now, surprisingly, my
a good
thought
thing.
process on that would be actually it would be better
It would be better. Yeah, I agree with that.
because now that same video is playing across Facebook and with 5 different people, but they're all seeing the same thing. It's going to
Right.
attract attention.
I agree completely when it comes to video. I'm more concerned about the individual ads.
Yeah, I don't see a way where we're going to get around that because it would be too complex for Andy and them to. I mean, I'm concerned about Josue and Izzy and Cammy and those guys going, all right, how are we going to drop 1,000-piece logos into all of these for 1,000 agents, all paying us $250?
Well, there's one other thing I need to ask, and that is what happens when 10 agents call me the same day saying the video won't play? Who handles that?
So
Well,
if,
usually the agents are wrong and we're right.
Because you know, there's a lot of people out there like me that are technically challenged. It's going to come up. And
when
so
you
where
say
does,
that the video is not playing, what do you mean by that?
I mean that they've dropped it into whatever they're dropping it into and it doesn't play, it doesn't show up, or
Mhm.
or it stutters or can't hear the sound. I mean, all those different things that have to do with that part of technology. I'm just suggesting that we at Waitlist don't have necessarily the information that we would need to tell them how to fix that problem. So if that were to occur, we just have to have a way to say, okay, I'm going to turn you on to Josue or I'm going to turn you on to Andy, or you know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Okay.
Well, the other part of that is the scenario of that is the same thing is the question comes up is where do we allow them to show the video? How do they post the video? Because a video just can't be dropped in something, right? It has to have a purpose. So that's another conversation how will they use the video?
Well,
Where will they place
we
it?
can give them instructions right in the system for that so that they have to be aware of that and do it right. But that doesn't solve everything that's going to come up. And so
It still has to play out of Vimeo or YouTube or some other source. Now that goes
Right.
back to my conversation earlier this week with Andy, where they could just send a link, and when that whoever they send the link to, that video plays. It plays from our servers,
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
from
Yeah,
YouTube,
so
you go.
that
Vimeo.
that is something that we've been thinking about. So we don't have to
Okay.
rely on a third party and their
Right.
branding, because usually their branding is part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good.
So, oh, excuse me, this drawing that I have here, I gotta go, guys, but real quickly.
Yeah, me too.
This drawing that I have here, guys, is just kind of an example. Is let's say that you're in a video editing software, okay? And I get that's what you guys are using, and you have the video and it's all created. The only thing that's left is to drop in the stuff at the end. So you go down to the frame of the video at the end where the logo is going to go. If you have a file folder in the video editing software, or you have a place where you can go access that file folder, we just give you the logos of every single company and every single agent. So every single agent that signs up with Amy, Carol is like, send me your logo,
Right.
right? And then if they don't have one, then we say, well, we'll create one for you. That'll be whatever. You guys price it out. It'll be $100, whatever it is.
Yeah.
We could go down that path, and then that money goes back to you guys to create the video for them, or create the logo for them. Either or, all of those logos go into a file folder, and so you have one file folder, and it has every single company that Waitlist works with in that folder. And the video is done. And you know how most video software works. At the bottom, they have the frame rate thing, and you can move it around
Yes.
and you can
Mhm.
cut and you can paste and do all the things. But then here at the very end, you can click on that frame and then you just drag it. So you want to use this logo, you drag it or whatever they do right into that frame. And that's a couple of minutes. if the video software does that, which I don't know if they do, but that's literally what I'm thinking. And see, this would be the efficiency of being able to just, if you have that folder full of all the right logos, you find the logo, you drag and drop it, and the video's ready. We could make it that simple. Now, inside the video, the other thing we could do is when we get the logo from Carol sends it over to Josue or Izzy or whoever you guys determine who to do it. She says, here's the logo. Well, they create two logos off of that one. So the first logo is just the logo itself, whatever that is. But then Josue or Izzy takes it and she builds another frame around it. And then she leaves room for the agent's name and information, name,
phone number,
email,
and email.
you know,
Yeah.
if they have a website, whatever. And then that's the second logo. So now when you go in here to the file folder, there's file folder 1, which is just the logo itself, which they probably won't be using very often. And then there's the second file folder, which is the logo and the agent's info. And you do the same thing. You just grab that file and you drop it into the end of the video and you're done. I mean, literally minutes. Because the video is already complete. The only thing that has to happen is at the very, very end of the video where that it says your logo here, that's taken out and you drop in the new one. How long would that take? 5 minutes? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could
Finding all
move
the
a lot
files will take
faster.
longer.
Yeah, that would be
Guys,
the
I
look at this
have
on
to
efficiency.
run. I'm so sorry. I'm already late for my next meeting. I'll have a technical conversation to see how can we handle
You
this.
don't have to answer that now, you guys.
Yeah,
So Izzy
he's
and
the best.
Josue, this is the last challenge that we have to get done PDQ. And I've talked to Andy about this already as far as freelancing some more peeps in to get it done, whatever it takes. But we can't launch Amy until this segment has answers. That's why I wanted
Yeah,
to
it
go.
doesn't have to exist as a solution, but at least the answer has to be there.
Yes. So we've got to rock and roll on this. So ladies and gents, make this again another high priority is sorting out how it's going to work, and then let's get it built so we can install Amy. Now, what Carol's going to be doing, all of us will be doing this next week, is we're all going to call every single agent we have and welcome them and ask them how their business is doing, and we're going to find out how crappy they are at their business. And we're not going to introduce Amy completely. We're going to just
Touch on
give
it.
them a couple crumbs.
Yeah.
We're going to give them some crumbs about Amy, and then Carol will follow up with all of the ones that want to learn more about Amy. But that literally could be just beginning of March, you know, or the middle of March at the
Middle of March,
latest.
probably. Yeah.
So we have from today, the 14th, until let's say the first week of March, second week of March, that this is working and ready to go, because then we're going to start signing agents on. And then we have that additional income. And like I already said to you guys, is that depending on how much is coming in and how many agents sign up, volume is key. If we're doing 25 agents versus 100 agents, that's a big boost in revenue back over to Nexent, which then can be distributed to all of our workers.
To the team.
Yeah.
So that's the difference that we have to do. And that's why it's so important to get this done. Okay, anything else from anybody?
Good for now.
Josue, you got anything?
Good for me.
Okay, Izzy?
No, not for the moment.
Okay, guys. So let's look at
keep
trying to, as soon as you start to
Nothing
come
else.
up with some solutions, Andy and team, maybe we meet during the middle of the week and we get some ideas how we can do this.
Yes.
See you
Okay,
guys.
I have to go.
Okay.
I
Okay, we'll see you
definitely have
later.
to go.
We'll see you
Bye.
guys.
Have a
Bye.
good
Thank you.
day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.